Sometimes you gotta let it roll, and sometimes you get enough fold. This is Bloodbowl.
What's up, guys? Heretic you here, the most underrated tabletop wargamer, back with Blood Bowl. More specifically, Sylvan Bowl. Season 14 opener. We got the my Dark Elves versus Voodoo Doctors, Shambling Undead. So we're going to jump right into the action as we got the kickoff. Kickoff is going to be solid defense. Not really going to shift my guys a lot. I did almost do a perfect kick. Look at that. Right in the end zone. So just going over today's matchup. I do have one game under my belt, so I did have a tie. Did not get to record that game. But during that game, I was playing a very competitive, bashy orc team. So I'm actually out 2 blitzers this game. So I'm going to go with a couple of journeymen. As you know, Dark Elves is very expensive, so I have no bench. Alright, we're going to start off with the Undead. Big guy's going to activate, and well, it looks like he... Nope, actually we're going to go with a 2-die block on the line of scrimmage. He's going to knock a girl down. That's going to free up a guy for an assist. So the mummy right there, he's looking to assist and get a 3-die block, which he gets. 3-die block. Really good. So I'm going to have to weather the storm. So you see that little white thing under these little markers I put under a couple of the models? That's for me to notate who's a journeyman and who isn't. So I got my journeyman on the line like a good coach because they are sacrificial. So we're going to have to weather this opening barrage of blocks. Another 3-die block. This time on the journeyman. So not a big deal if I lose them. At least outside of game. In game, you don't want to go down models, obviously, but I think all we have to do now is survive. Looks like it's going to be a 2-die blitz coming off the side. Can't believe we're going to let that stay, but we do. So that model's going down. I guess it didn't really matter, but anyways, as far as opening bash moves go, we're pretty good as he moves the ghoul for the 3-die pickup in the backfield, right in the end zone. Pretty good spot. I mean, he can stay there if he wants to. I'm not sure if he's going to, but not a bad idea. Keep him safe for at least my turn, and then decide what to do depending on that. It'd be a good move, but I think he's gonna opt to move his guy. He's gonna move his guy up, and he's gonna create this kind of ghoul pocket. He's gonna move the last remaining ghoul behind him, creating a little tiny screen, or I don't know, like an open cage. I'm not sure what you're going to call that, but the ball's pretty much safe there. I'd have to have some kind of incredible move to get there. I'm not going to. So let's start with my turn. So I'm doing a stand-up blitz, and that results in a push. And we're hoping to chain that into more 2-die blocks. That's going to be on a zombie. And I'm not sure, but that 8 should do on a zombie. Or is it skeleton? I always get the two mixed up. I know there's an AV difference of 1 between the two, but seeing as how I'm not rolling any extra dice, looks like we're moving on. So here we go with some dodges, creating our hit and run tactics here. So we got 2 hits off, and we got another dodge as I move this assassin-looking model into their backfield, just to threaten their ghouls just a little bit. And I set up a nice little screen for the witch elf to be protected. Yeah, just so you know, there's a couple of models that I am using as just regular linemen. They look like assassins. They're not. Because Dark Elves are so expensive. Just an expensive team to start off with. And really I'm going to save up for those assassins. If I want assassins, I'm still kind of on the border about how effective they are as a position. But I think this Sylvan Bowl season, I'm just going to have fun with it. I'm going to try out skills that I normally don't. So that's one good thing about the Dark Elf lineup. You got things like shadowing, if you get the assassin, dump off. You get some fun stuff that you can kind of play around with. So we're just going to have fun this year as we go back into the Undead turn. And looks like we're gonna successfully spread him out. I want to see how he deals with this kind of screen. I kind of want him to move into me, and then I'm gonna dodge. The plan is to kind of pick and choose your battles, right? So he's got me on strength. I wouldn't even say like the starting skills that he has puts him at a slight advantage as a team. So it's really about just kind of finding. You want to find some chink in the armor, and then you chip away at that if you're Dark Elves, right? And maybe you get a knockout. Maybe you get as he moves the ball up. So at least pressured him to move up. That is a pretty thick meat shield he's got going there. So. But, if he leaves a little late, he's got 1 model screening on that whiteout. If he leaves that open, I could bounce out and blitz that guy down and, get a tackle zone on the ball. So I think that's exactly what I'm going to try as he resets and leaves his turn up to me. I start by picking up my journeyman and making a dodge. Here comes the 2-die blitz. And I think I turned it over. Yes. That 1 and 9. I believe I was doing that with my lineman or a runner. So never send a lineman to do a blitzer's job. That's the lesson of that day. And so Undead are going to waste no time, go right after the journeyman, knock another guy down. So that's unfortunate. I was thinking of putting early pressure picking, you know, a decent block. 2-die block is decent, but and I am down 2 blitzers, and that's why. That's why I was unable to pull off that block. So now they're going to take advantage of the early turnover and get a couple of good hits. And if you're wondering why I didn't reroll that, that is simply because I only have 1 reroll. So they're going to get plenty of strikes back at me. And look at that. They are pinning me onto the sidelines. So, I mean, that's obviously going to be a bad start as Mummy gets a hit on one of my linemen. Decides not to follow up. I would have followed him. As Undead, you want to be marking my elves, forcing me to dodge every single time as we got another 2-die block. So far, the Dark Elf armor is holding out. That's one advantage that I'm new to Elves, and you know, to be honest, I don't. I think Dark Elves are kind of they're an interesting team in that I don't see what all the buzz is about them. I don't consider them to be in the top tier, especially with these new rules, or I should say the 2020 rules. I just think because the runner, their positionals are not as good. True, you get 4 blitzers as the Undead. As we look, as the Undead are pushing the ball a little bit forward, but getting that march into me. But going back to my thoughts, my initial thoughts of the Dark Elves, one of the reasons I'm playing them this season is so I can kind of see hands-on what all the hubbub is about. So I've got 2 games under my belt, and to me, if this is a kind of a grow team, I don't think they're that great from the get-go, and I don't think they're as strong in a small league that we play in the Sylvan Bowl. So you don't get a lot of games, not a lot of regular season games in the Sylvan Bowl. And so teams like Lizardmen, teams like Norse, like the Undead, definitely have the advantage there, as I do a 2-die blitz with the Witch Elf, trying to get her into the action. And we got another 2-die block. So I'm doing my precision hits, trying to get numbers advantage when I can find it. I think stunning and brave. I KO a guy. So, not bad. We have now a 1-man advantage on the field. Can we take advantage of that? Anytime you're the lower strength team, if you can get a man advantage, that only helps in equalizing the odds, as we have a successful dodge. And it looks like we are now setting up. We're going to set up another screen. And we've got a lineman in the backfield looking to sneak in from behind. So, this is kind of a sloppy version of a pillar defense, but you could, as I failed to dodge. And that's a journeyman, so even if I had the reroll, not wasting it on that, guys. So, we'll see how the Undead respond. I didn't get exactly everything I wanted. I think I was going to set up for a little for backdoor pressure on the ball. But I do have a number of tackle zones that he has to deal with. So he can't exactly just run right through. going to try and use screens as much as possible against this game because, well, frankly, ooh, pops armor and gets a stun. So Undead answering back with my KO to her stun. We've got a bag of Doritos in the way. I don't think it's going to stay. I forgot that was there. Totally forgot, man. Sorry about that, guys. There you go. Ah! That's good. That's good. This game brought to you by Doritos. Cool Ranch flavor, if I'm not mistaken. Undead slowly marching up the field. Now they got the ball just barely across the line of scrimmage. And I am just looking for the smallest of openings as he manages to set up a loose cage. I do have a guy in the backfield that can sneak around and get that blitz off. The question is, am I going to do that? I think I start with a witch elf. 2-die block? That's not a witch elf. But it is a 2-die block. And we're going to stun. And nothing more. Here we go. I'm setting up a 2-die block in the backfield. Maybe a blitz? Or just... no. Just setting up small pressure back there to get him to move. To get him to move on up. And oh no, that was my blitz. I'm going to put a tackle zone on the ball. That's what I wanted to do last turn. I think finally getting that to go, and I'm setting up pillars by making my dodges. It involves a lot of dodges. That's why, as the undead, you want to mark as many dark elves as possible, because you're going to force me to jump out of tackle zones. I am leaving a lane open on the very edge of the field. So, is that a good thing? We got a 2-die block by the undead. Journeyman. Journeyman taking it. Journeyman stunned. Oh, sorry. That's a KO. So now we're even. So any advantage that I thought I had now erased. So this is going to be quite a slog for the Dark Elves, I think. Basically, I don't want to engage it. I don't want to give them all these 2-die blocks. But early turnovers, failed dodges, those kind of things will give you, your opponent generally more blocks than possible. So anytime you're playing an edge team, the goal is not to be marked, but to mark them. So basically, you want to mark them when they are, when you want to, right? You want to pick the battles. You want to initiate the blocking. Even if you're only throwing, as we got is that a mummy blitz? He gets a push. And now he is opening up a nice little pocket there to try to put his ghoul in. So now he's basically doing his job. He's marking all of my guys. He's going to force me into a situation where I'm going to have to dodge a lot. And the ball is slowly moving up. But that's the defensive strategy of the Dark Elves, is if he's only moving the ball, advancing the ball one square a turn, That's how you're going to win. That's how you're going to prevent TD. Okay? If you can gum up his advance to the point where he's basically getting no movement out of his ball, then you're doing your job. There's other ways. That's the great thing about Blood Bowl. There are other ways to play defense in Blood Bowl rather than straight up bashing people and taking people out. That's still probably the best strategy you can come up with, but if you're at a blocking disadvantage, if you're playing a agility team, your your goal is just to not prevent. This is score more touchdowns, right? That's how you're going to win the game. And so if you can slow down the advance to the point where he doesn't score, as we go into the Dark Elf turn, I start by standing up a few guys, and we're going to try and set up some 2-die blocks here. Can I get a cheeky blitz in the back and get the ball loose? I don't know, but we got a 2-die block there. That's going to open up a lane. Do I get a stun? Did I not go? Yes, I did get a KO. So, gaining the advantage back. So, Dark Elves, despite being at a strength disadvantage, you can see by choosing correct blocks, you can sort of beat them at their own game. As the Witch Elf advances, she's going in for the kill. And she actually set up for the assist. And then a 2-die block in the background. Problem is, I'm running out of guys to set up screens now. We got a successful dodge by the Journeyman. And this was actually, to explain this, I actually thought that was an assassin. So I did do a stab move. It didn't result in anything. So thankfully, after reviewing the roster, I realized I didn't have that. So that's the only time I did that, kids. But what I end up doing is getting him a free block. And it looks like we got yet another turnover before I was able to set up. And we got a mummy that's going to have a free block on alignment. So that's going to be bad news. And as you can see, my screen there is not very good. I was going to set up pillars of guys. That was the goal, but it's not going to work. So we got the Egyptian opening up a hole there. Exposing the Dark Elves, lackluster column defense here. And we got a blitz by Walk Like an Egyptian. He's going to pop armor and get himself a casualty. So first casualty by the... Sorry about that, guys. You know I had to do that with a name like Walk Like Egyptian. We got another 2-die block, so Dark Elves paying with the lives, basically. So big hit by the mummy. And so now the Undead are showing why they're such a good team, man. 2 strength 5 mummies with no negative traits. Sure, they're slow as shit, but man, do they hit hard. And he just proved it by punching my poor Dark Elf in the face. Lots of 2-die blocks happening here. So down goes the Witch Elf. Ooh. So that's going to hurt. We see a lot of people on the ground now. And that defense just broken. And speaking of breaking, you've got the ghoul breaking out. And coming off the diagonal angle and getting another ghoul in for support. That is bad news for the Dark Elves, who committed to the pillar defense. Basically, early turnover by failed dodge equals a broken defense like that, where you got many girls on the ground. They still got a shot on that ball as we start with a 2-die block. Looks like we're seeing, I think, that is a boat down result. Another early turnover by the Dark Elves. That's going to cost them. Now they're way out of position. Undead can score now, or they can stall. Bring more guys over and set up a cage basically in the corner and stall this out. Which, isn't a bad thing. You've got the ball. You want to score, obviously, turn 8. Don't give me a shot at... you don't want to give a team like the Dark Elves, even though they're not as great as passing as they used to be. Blitz action coming and knocking out one of the few defenders that could have dodged out and blitzed that ghoul down. So I like that. I actually like this because rather than just cage up around, they're taking the offensive route, going to try to build on the number advantage and knock girls down and keep the ball safe at the same time. So that's good strategy. It's good stuff by the Undead team. As another 2-die block. Look at all the down girls. Undead just they're gonna score. It's a little early. They're leaving 2 turns for the Dark Elves, but that is a TD by the Bone Collector. So well played by the Dark Elves. Good drive. Dark Elves by the Undead. Good drive. So but did you leave enough time on the clock for these janky elves? They may be Dark Elves, but they are still elves. And if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. You can see by his defense, he's defending wide. As we have get the ref is rolled. Kind of an inconsequential thing, because I'm not fouling with this team. My guys are too expensive. And the Undead coach, he doesn't like to foul. We got a successful pickup in the backfield, and then a handoff to the runner. Okay. Runner's going to move out into position. What you need is a receiver, so that we're going with the Witch Elf.
Right next to that.
Witch Elf is going as the scoring option. I believe you want to get a second scoring option there. Are they going to blitz down? I don't know. We're marking ghouls, sacrificing ourselves so that... and that's a failed dodge. Basically, we wanted to tie up as many potential blitzers as possible. But then again, another early turnover. We're going to see how the Undead deal with this. So you got the runner with the ball. How do you cover the dump off option? I think he is doing this well. So he's gonna put 2 defenders onto the ball carrier, 1 defender on the Witch Elf. So that'll tie up the pass option. Oh, 2 defenders. Look at that. So collapsing on all of the scoring options. And then you want a blitz to come. And you're probably gonna do it in the backfield. It's a zombie, not the best option. Going back over the audio, basically the Undead coach confused that model for a white. It is what it is. But so now he's like, okay, do I blitz with the mummy? No, mummy's just gonna come in for support. Mummy couldn't make it, so you're gonna blitz with basically, linemen. So I'm gonna declare dump off to an empty square near the end zone, and double coverage. I'm at some serious minuses. Doesn't matter because I roll that sixer. The ball's gonna bounce favorably towards the end zone as the blitz comes in. Is he gonna get the runner? I believe so. Hopefully he doesn't pop armor and injure. That's the only thing you have to worry about now because she did her job by jumping off on the ball. He doesn't have enough. He just realized he doesn't have enough movement to get to that ball. So it's going to allow the witch elf. She's going to have to do quite a bit of dodging. I still have my reroll, and that's why you want to keep that reroll at the end as he continues. Yeah, he doesn't have the movement. That's a zombie. That's the thing about the zombie versus skeleton debate, as he's gonna punish the line of scrimmage, and he's gonna give me a shot here at redemption. Can we tie it up? So this is gonna be a 3-up dodge, or is that a 4-up? 4-up dodge between two guys. That's a tough roll. 4-up or 5-up? I think, no, I'm at a 5-up dodge. I can't get support around, to maybe blitzer out of there. If I could cancel the number of assists, that would be a good option, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like I'm going to have to do... Gets the hard dodge, makes the easy dodge. Can he make the pickup? Gets the pickup, and gets a janky elf score. That's the thing about elves. They break tackles like it's going out of style. My witch elf, Alyssa Gilano, with the TD, tying up the game right at the end of the half. So, guys, stay tuned to part 2. This is a wild game. It was pretty amazing. It was very fun to play. No spoilers on what's going to happen. But listen, I appreciate all the support. I know that these videos can go very long. I try to make them as short as possible, and try to make them as entertaining as possible. So any support, if you could just click the like, hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you like this kind of content, I'm gonna keep making it. So I will see you on the next one.